I had a dream last night that all my hair turned grey. This weekend I went to see 4 films. I was supporting independent cinema, which I enjoy doing, at my local cinema, which is Home in Manchester. They have a very useful little cinema pass thing where you pay a certain amount every month and you get into most films included in that pass. This isn't a sponsored segment, just thought I'd let you know. So I saw 4 films and 2 of them were good and 2 of them were not so good, in my opinion. The first film I went to see was How to Have Sex, which is a feature-length debut by Molly Manning Walker. This is a film about a group of 16-year-olds who decide to go to Malia for their summer holiday kind of thing. Doesn't all go entirely to plan. Heidi, what are you doing? With a title like How to Have Sex, you can tell that one of their main priorities of going on this holiday is to have sex. And the main cast, in particular, Mia McKenna-Bruce, as the main character, are excellent in portraying these teenage girls who have no idea what they're doing, and leads into some questionable areas of discussions regarding consent. I love this film. I thought it was incredibly well made, and my cat is currently hijacking the microphone. Bear with. Incredibly well made. The cinematography, direction, all of that stuff was immaculate, and Mia McKenna-Bruce as the main character just stole every scene that she was in. The men in the film must have had a really hard time dealing with the subject matter, as this will, define them for the next few roles, possibly. But I really enjoyed this and I highly recommend it. One of the things I did like about it is the portrayal of club scenes and raves and things like that, and that's kind of inspired me on my next few videos, which I'll mention later on. The next film I went to see was Saltburn. This one's a little bit more popular than How to Have Sex. I know that quite a few other YouTubers have done videos on this. It's a black comedy psychological thriller, written, directed and produced by Emerald Fennell. Previously she worked on Promising Young Woman. Saltburn is about a university student who becomes obsessed with his very wealthy, very popular schoolmate, and he spends the summer at this eccentric family's estate. I'm just reading off Wikipedia here. I'm not that imaginative. This film was incredible. I had a great time with this one. It was dark. It reminded me a lot of The Favourite. Incredibly dark humour. Oftentimes it's bewildering as to what exactly is the joke, but it is still entertaining throughout. Great cast. I enjoyed the main 2 guys. One of them was in Euphoria. Jacob Elordi, who I previously enjoyed in Euphoria, just realised he's Australian. I thought his English accent was very, very English, and I didn't realise he was Australian. So that's good. I've just noticed that he's playing Elvis Presley in Priscilla, which comes out shortly as well. To summarise, Saltburn was a very, very fun watch, and definitely one I'd recommend watching in the cinema with a full audience if you can. It was just wonderful. Yeah, it gets weird, but isn't that life, really, when you're wealthy, supposedly? I've been told. Just another note on that is any scene that Rosamund Pike is in is completely stolen. She continues to be one of my favourite actresses. Just find her incredibly watchable in everything she's in. On the next day I went to see 2 more films, and this is where things kind of went a bit downhill for me. The first film I saw on this day was, I can't remember the name, May December, which is a film by Todd Haynes starring Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore. It's a drama comedy, I don't know, depends on who you ask, inspired by the story of a woman who falls in love and has a child with a 13-year-old or a minor. Natalie Portman plays an actress who is researching the role that is played by Julianne Moore, kind of studying her and her family and learning more about the story that she's going to be portraying. I don't know if it's funny. If it was a comedy, I didn't get any of the jokes. I realise it's most definitely a stylistic choice. Even things like the soundtrack is taken from a 70s film called The Go-Between, which I've not seen. So maybe I'm missing a connection here. But there was a number of directorial and editorial decisions that I just didn't get. For example, there's a shot quite early on where Julianne Moore's character is going to the fridge, and then it suddenly does this zoom in and this intense music starts playing, and then she just declares that they've run out of hot dogs. Now, it sounds funnier when I say it like that, but I just don't really... This film didn't really click with me. Most likely a me problem, because I do enjoy Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore in most things, but probably would have benefited if I did some research before going in. With all of these films I mentioned in this video, I didn't do any prior research. I'm trying to do that with films when I go to the cinema. I don't want to get hyped up. So, I'll see a trailer or a poster in the cinema and base my decision on that. But I think for this particular film, I may have got more out of it if I had more of an insight into why the film exists in the first place. And the final film I saw on this massive weekend of film was Napoleon. Probably going to guess what I thought of this one. It's the latest film by Ridley Scott, who, in my opinion, has taken a bit of a downturn in his films in the last few years. I hated House of Gucci. I walked out of House of Gucci, in fact. And this is a film about Napoleon, who I have very little interest in. I'm not into history. I'm old enough as it is. And I love Joaquin Phoenix, and this film just basically felt like Ridley Scott had got Joaquin Phoenix to be Napoleon for a few hours, or however long it took to film. It didn't do anything for me. It looked good. The action scenes looked good, but nothing I haven't seen 100 times before, even by Ridley Scott. I know this is quite a divisive film from what I've seen on the internet. Kind of hard to ignore the hype on a film like this. But no, not for me. If you've got any interest in history, or Napoleon, or if you enjoyed House of Gucci or other Ridley Scott films, or you want to see a film with nice imagery and people dying, recommend Napoleon. But I was quite bored by the end of this, which is a shame, because I do like Joaquin Phoenix. Don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Apparently his name used to be Joaquin Raphael Bottom. I wonder why he changed his name. Oh, he's engaged to Rooney Mara. I'm learning all sorts of stuff today. This is why you do your research, because this is essential information before you go watch a film. So yes, those are the 4 films I watched this week. I've also seen a lot more films at home, which I'm going to just briefly discuss now. I thought I'd just go over some of my future plans for this channel. It's going pretty well. I've been getting some more views and subscribers, and people are commenting on my videos, which is great. Thank you everyone who's watched the videos so far. I've got some really exciting ideas. Exciting for me. I'm excited. I'm going to do a couple of videos about the rave culture and how it's portrayed in film, just because How to Have Sex reminded me that that's an interest that I've had for a long time. And I'm going to do a more serious-ish film about what makes a rave film good, or what makes a film a rave film. I need to work out the wording. And then I'm going to do one of my infamous tier lists on rave films. So I spent the weekend watching lots of rave films, or re-watching lots of rave films. I'm also going to be doing a video on a giant crab, which I'm waiting for someone to help film me in that one, because it's on location and everything. It's not in this room. It's outside this room. There is an outside, I've been assured. So yeah, thank you for watching this one. Give me a like and subscribe if you so desire. And let me know what you thought of these films. So also, if Elliot, Karen Van Heyer can stop parking their vehicles on double yellows, that would be great. Thank you. See you in the next one.